Hello and welcome back, ladies, to Girl Talk for 80s Babies, where we unpack life, relationships, and everything in between with honesty, no filter, and a little humor. Today's topic is light, but also not. It's actually quite serious, I think. We are talking about voice notes and the way they've taken over how we communicate. Now, listen, I have one friend, she will remain unnamed, who just this morning sent three back to back 7 to 8 minute voice notes. And that was before 8 o'clock in the morning. In her defense, we didn't speak yesterday, so it was, catching up. I said to her, you're catching up on your 50 million word count so early in the morning. I joke, but she's the only one in my life in the what I call my audiobook friend zone. Everyone else, please, let's set some ground rules. So, rule number one, which I'm not sure what the rule is, but voice note length. At what point does a voice note need to actually become a phone call? Because long voice notes require commitment. Finding a quiet place, replaying parts, remembering what to reply. It's a lot. And you know that some people haven't figured out that, I don't know how this happens, but anyway, some people haven't figured out that you don't need to listen to someone's voice note out loud. Like, you see people sitting at a lunch table listening to people's voice notes like loud. Like, there's this thing where you just put it to your ear and the voice note plays in your ear. You don't need to like broadcast it for us all to listen to. Anyway, side note. Personally, I I actually just prefer typing my messages, to be honest, even if they are long. Especially if I'm in front of my laptop, computer. It's easy to be in WhatsApp and just type away. But I think when tone matters, um, a voice note is helpful because, sometimes what you say in the text can be misunderstood. Then we come to recording conditions. Like, where are you when you're recording these things? I remember on Sunday I sent her a voice note and I was in the supermarket. And I must say, I was just doing what she does to me, so that she knows what it's like to endure her voice notes or what her voice note experience is for me. So I thought, okay, well, you okay with voice noting while you're doing other things. So I'm in the supermarket now and I'm busy buying a few things. And then there's this announcement over the PA system in the shop. And when she listened to the voice note, she's like, where are you? Are you in the airport? And I thought, like, why would she think I was in the airport? No, because there was this announcement over the PA system. So it was a distraction. So let's be mindful about our, let's be mindful about where we are located, our environment at the time of sending these voice notes, you know, um, who's in the background, whether you're driving through a storm, are you in the wind, are you in a tsunami, what is going on? I want to support you. I want to listen to your voice note, but I don't want to have to listen to it 4 times to understand what is going on. It is tiring, it's emotional, and it's technically just a thing. It's very difficult, very, very difficult. And I think she gets so busy with hers. There's always things happening in the background, and I'm trying to figure out what is she doing. And then you'll hear water in the background, and splashing and things going on. And then my husband will say, is she swimming or what is she doing? Because she has a skill. I don't know how she does it, but she has a skill of sending voice notes that's just next level. So environment matters. Then what are we having here? What are we doing? Is it a conversation or is it a monologue? Because I think voice notes are meant to be a conversation, but if you're sending 4 to 5 back to back without giving me breathing room to even respond, then I'm a bit concerned about whether this is a conversation or am I an audience? Because, yeah, it's a lot, So I've learned that as I'm listening to the voice note, I will reply by text as she speaks because you forget the talking points. Like by the third voice note, halfway through, it's 20 minutes later, you forgot what was said in the first 5 minutes. So, I want to be thorough with my replies and I want to be respectful to the fact that I'm your friend. I have thoroughly listened to your conversation and I'm invested and I have an opinion. So I will text you back while you're speaking because, or else I'm not going to get my point across. And then point number, what? I don't know, number 3, whatever. Urgency. If it's urgent, just pick up the phone and phone each other. I mean, it's not like we are spending hundreds and thousands of rands on airtime nowadays, to phone people. We are using Wi-Fi or data or whatever to call on WhatsApp. So just pick up the phone and call if it's urgent. And then pressure. Reply pressure. Do we feel pressured? Do we feel pressured that when we receive a 10-minute voice note that it requires a response of equal length? Like, what is the rule there? Do we just is a 1 minute response to someone's 10-minute voice note? Is that respectful or disrespectful? Okay, maybe it's even disrespectful that they've sent you a 10-minute voice note in the first place. But what is the rules? What is the rules? Can someone tell me what is the rule about a response to that voice note of 10 minutes? If someone can tell me that. And do we respond suddenly, like immediately? Is it okay to listen to a voice note now and then you don't have time to reply, you're not in a good environment, quiet place or whatever? Is it fine to send a response at the end of the day, the next day? What is the rules around that? I always think there should be rules around that. Then what are the rules around voice notes in the workplace? I don't work in a workplace. I work alone in my own workplace. But I must be honest, I do voice note my clients, especially in my job where I feel like some of them don't read. People don't read anymore. Like you will send an email and it's really important information and people don't read. It's like full stop, people don't read. So I find it convenient, especially with very important information, to relay the message via a voice note that they can, keep it on record for future reference because, it's an important thing. So I'm quite happy with my clients to send a voice note in that sense. But, on a personal level, voice notes are personal. You're not just going to voice note any random person. You need to have a relationship with that person. And that is, I think, why, with my darling friend who who's really, for her, the voice note situation is a way of staying connected alongside the busyness of life. And I find value in that. I find value in that, yes, at 4:30 in the morning when she's packing lunches or she's doing whatever, I was on her mind. I was so shocked the one morning because I'm 2 hours ahead of her, and it was 6:30 in my time. It was 4:30 in South Africa, and she voice noted me to find out how I was, what am I doing, what's my plans for the day, and I was like, let's just start with the fact that you thought of me at 4:30 in the morning, while you are busy with your busyness of life. So when it comes to her, and I know her life is busy, it makes sense to keep our connection, to have this voice note, audiobook way of communicating with each other, you know? And there's value in that. There's value in the fact that it's a tool that we can use to stay connected with our friends and family. And I don't know, are we connecting? Are we connecting, or are we unintentionally disrespecting people's time? Um, for me personally, I think it honestly depends on the person, because, as I say, there are some people that I will allow that sort of relationship with, but yeah, with others, no, I don't know. So, all jokes aside, voice notes keep us connected, but maybe we can be a little more mindful of each other's time and energy and brain power to absorb all your information. But maybe also afford each other a little bit of grace on both ends, on the sending end and the receiving end, because I think we live in a time where we are so, so disconnected from each other that if this is a tool that someone uses to be able to be connected to someone, or to be connected to you, a way in which they can feel that there is someone that listens to them, then let's allow them that. If you enjoyed this or feel personally attacked, I apologize. But please feel free to share it with your friends, especially the voice note queens in your life. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share with a friend, leave a comment, and we'll chat next time on Girl Talk for 80s Babies.